Hello, this time around we are focusing on the exploration aspect in the 5E model. Exploration is kind of a launching point after you get them involved or engaged with the first steps. To kind of reiterate it, my thing is space, and my activity is creating a planet that's newly discovered by scientists and how the student interacts with it. Alright, so the first thing I want to start off with is I want to ask you a question. I want to say, who is the best scientist in the world? When I was younger, I had a teacher who actually coincidentally is retiring this year. He asked this to my class, and he let us think on it, and we all went around. We all shouted out answers. We all knew the answer as we thought. When he told us the answer, we were baffled. The best scientist in the world is kids. As they're born and they get older, they are constantly learning new information. They're constantly figuring out why do things work, how do they work, what causes what. With that being said, that is what makes them the best scientists in the world, is they're always learning information at a way faster rate than, say, a scientist who's dedicated in the field. Not discrediting the scientist, but the student is on that path of learning something at an exponential rate in comparison. Alright, so what NGSS standards fit my topic of space and finding a new planet? First off is 2 ESS 2.1, the Earth systems. Basically, this is comparing multiple solutions designed to slow or prevent wind or water from changing the shape of the land. This fits my activity because it is asking the students, is there vegetation, is there water, is there even wind on the planet? What is the makeup of the planet, and how does it function? What are the important environmental factors that kind of play into it, and how do they shape the way the planet's created? Also, 2 ESS 2.2 Earth systems basically is developing a model to represent the shapes and kinds of land and bodies of water in an area. If you're creating an entire planet, it is important to know what you think is going to be the general shapes of the biomes or the water or anything. These two standards go hand in hand with my project because they're both designed on creating land, focusing on ecosystems and the design, the makeup, all this different vegetation and things like that. Alright, the questions I want to answer are questions that should come from engagement. What would happen if you added life to this planet? What is changing to cause this life, and then how does the life impact this planet? Next question, what did you expect to find on the planet and why? As a student, it is up to their own creativity to design the planet how they see fit. With that being said, I want to know what is on the planet, how do they see it. Like I said at the end, I want them to create the model and then the poster board to kind of explain it. These are good questions to have in mind when going through because they really play into the overall picture of how it's going to turn out. Alright, next, are there any patterns on the planets in space? This is a general one for just the space process in the whole. How do the planets look, things like that. Furthermore, are they barren? Like, do they have anything on them? Are they empty? Are they sandy makeup? Are they rocky makeup? Are they predominantly water? Do they have water on them at all? And is there life? Obviously, with the planets in our solar system, there's no life currently besides the human planet, or the Earth. That being said, there's no way of knowing past that what is happening. And furthermore, with the current plans to explore Mars and colonate that in the possible near future, that could really play into it. Alright, so obviously with exploration you want to give them activities to help them learn what they want and kind of pique their interest. You don't want it to be boring, you want it to draw their attention and keep them exploring. So the first activity I want to do is a field trip to the Cosmosphere in Hutchinson, Kansas. Thankfully, living in Kansas, it's not that big, and you can do a day trip just there and back with students. Depending on the age group, you might be their only teacher they have all day, or you might be sharing the students among different teachers. Either way, a field trip is always a good thing because it lets them get a hands-on look at some of the equipment necessary for space. If they see this equipment, it kind of puts into realization what is necessary. Like I said, it allows them to learn about space more in depth. They're going to be asking more questions about how it works. They're going to meet people who have a better understanding. And then all in all, just developing an understanding of the requirements that life needs to survive in space. Obviously, there is no oxygen. There's like low gravity or no gravity depending on the planet and the size of the mass. All these things would kind of, I think, help shape good activity because it is piquing their interest. All right. So the next activity I'm planning is exploration activity number 2. What that is I want to do pen pals. I wrote pen pals with NASA, but it doesn't necessarily just have to be NASA. It can be, obviously, if we don't end up doing a field trip to the Cosmosphere, we can pen pal with people there. They have a good understanding of space. We can do space stations besides NASA, like just spread out through smaller coastal areas that have launching platforms. And then I think this is beneficial because it allows them to ask questions that the students may have about space. They may ask questions to spark potential ideas about their planets. Again, sorry, this is all based around creating the planet of their own makeup. If they have questions that they think they need answered, then this is the perfect time to ask them. It involves just back and forth. Since my plan is for a month, they may be able to do 1 or 2 depending on how fast people respond. NASA is actually openly advertises their stuff. They allow people to pen pal to ask any questions they may have. If they're curious and they want an autograph from future or past astronauts, they're able to do that. The nice thing about NASA is that it's made up of so many different people. It's not necessarily just the astronauts, but rather you have astronauts, the engineers, the astrophysicists. This allows them to kind of take it in, find different people that do different things. They don't want to focus just on the astronaut because the astronaut isn't the only one that is involved in the process. All these people serve individual functions, and these individual functions are all vital to the way things work. If a student gets a pen pal they like, they can continue doing it. All in all, it's just kind of beneficial for the student because it allows them to voice things they may ask. They can ask serious questions about the workings. They can ask the astronauts or the physicists or the scientists what they think would benefit or how they would build a planet. And all in all, it's just a fun thing to get them talking with experts in the field. All this is important because it's just beneficial to them as a whole. If they know what they're looking for, then it kind of can come back and help them build a better planet. And if you're wondering, this is the NASA Johnson Space Center down in Houston. They put it on their website. It's very easy to find, and they actually hope that people write pen pals because it allows them to connect with the next generation. It allows them to help people kind of get an interest in things they might not otherwise know. All right. I just wanted to say thank you for listening.